And now for our most challenging graph to date. We're going to graph this variation of the cosine function. Y equals 2 plus 3 times the cosine of parenthesis 2 times x. The challenging part is the first step. It doesn't have a number, but it's the first thing we have to do. We have to rewrite that given function in the form y equals a times f is cosine. So it's y equals a times cosine of parenthesis k times parenthesis x minus b, close your parenthesis, and then add c. Okay, now the c that we're adding is a 2 that's added in the front. We're going to put that in the back. So when we write the given function in this form, we have y equals 3 times the cosine parenthesis of 2. See, we have to factor the 2 out, times x minus 0, close your parenthesis, then plus 2 in the back, a positive 2 in the back. Compare that, and we see that a is equal to 3, k is equal to 2, b is equal to 0, c is equal to 2. Step 1, find the amplitude. Capital A is the absolute value of lowercase a, absolute value of 3 equals 3. Step 2, the old interval of interest for cosine is everything from 0 to 2 pi, so it's 0 less than or equal to x, less than or equal to 2 pi. The new interval of interest is acquired by using the same 0 and 2 pi on the extreme ends, but in the middle, put k times x minus b. So that means 0 less than or equal to the k value 2 times parenthesis x minus the b value 0 less than or equal to 2 pi. Now you have to get k alone in the, x alone in the middle. So we just have 2x in the middle. All we need to do is divide all three regions by 2. So 0 divided by 2 is 0. The middle, well, we'll do it in the next step. 0 divided by 2 is 0. 2x divided by 2 is x. 2 pi divided by 2 is pi. So our new interval of interest are only the x values between 0 and pi. So it's actually smaller than our original interval of interest. So we see that x initial is 0, x final is pi. For step 3, to find the new period that we're going to graph, one complete period, it's the x final, pi minus x initial 0, it's pi units. Okay, now the old key points for the cosine. We know these values, the x values and the y values. The x values are our familiar 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi, and their y partners are 1, 0, -1, 0, 1. We're going to use those old x and those old y values to find our new ones. Now the new x values are equal to the old x values divided by k plus b. Now the k value in this example is 2 and b is 0. So our new x values are the old x values divided by 2, x old divided by 2. And then our new y values are acquired from a times y old plus c. So our new y values are going to be 3 times the old values because a is 3 plus the 2. C is equal to 2. 3 times the old y values plus 2 at the end. Okay, let's figure these out. Now we're going to do them one at a time, choose each of the appropriate x values, and we're going to calculate the new x value. So the first x value was 0. So we're going to take that old x value, 0, and divide it by 2 and get 0. So 0 is our first x value. And of course we knew it was going to be 0 because the interval of interest that we established in the new interval of interest in step 2 was 0 to pi. So we know the first one's going to be 0, the last one will be pi. If it isn't, we made a mistake somewhere. Okay, now let's take the next x value. It's x pi over 2. Let's do the same thing to it. Divide it by 2. You get pi over 4. Take the next x value, pi over 3 pi over 2. Pi. Just pi. Divided by 2, you get pi over 2. Then take the next x value, 3 pi over 2, divided by 2, you get 3 pi over 4. Take the last x value, 2 pi, divided by 2, and you get, guess what? Pi. Now, why am I not surprised? That's our maximum y value for our new period. That's our new interval of interest. It goes from 0, like we see 0 at the top of the x values, and down to pi. Okay, so I'm going to put boxes. These are my new x values. Yeah, and the extreme ones we knew. Okay, let's work on the y partners. The first y partner was 1. So we're going to do 3 times the old y partner plus 2. So it's 3 times 1 plus 2 equals 5. 3 times 0 plus 2 is 2. Now take the next x value. It's it's pi, the y value, it's negative 1. So it's 3 times negative 1. Let's see, I'm boxing those. It's 3 times negative 1 plus 2 equals negative 1. And 3 times 0 plus 2 is 2. And 3 times 1 plus 2 is 5. So those are our new ordered pairs x, y. Now we just simply need to graph them and we'll be finished. This is a graph of our y equals 2 plus 3 cosine 2x. Our interval of interest goes to pi, 0 to pi. Cut it in half, pi over 2. Cut it in half again, pi over 4. And the other side is 3 pi over 4 when we cut it in half. Okay, the y values, well, it looks like the maximum y value is going to be 5. And let's see, the smallest y value looks like it'll be negative 1. I'll go down to negative 2, a little further than I need to go. The first ordered pair, 0, 5. 0, 5. Graph that point. Next is pi over 4, 2. Pi over 4, 2. Then we have pi over 2, negative 1. Pi over 2, negative 1. And then we have 3 pi over 4, 2. And then pi, 5. You can see I put a dotted line to show you how we shifted up and down. We just shifted the graph, and we also squashed it to get it. But we didn't think that hard about that. What we did is we went through and we calculated what each of the ordered pairs was going to be, and we graphed it, and we're finished.